morning Newsline is brought to you by the Barbados Tourism Marketing Inc.
Jamaica's former education minister and 2 family members among 5 facing corruption charges. Our top story in Caribbean Newsline for Thursday, October 10th. From the CMC News Center in Bridgetown, I'm Ricardo Roberts. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. Former Education Minister Ruel Reid, his wife, his daughter and president of the Caribbean Maritime University, Professor Fritz Pinnock, were among 5 people granted bail after appearing in court on corruption-related charges on Thursday. Reid was released on $3 million bail, while Pinnock was granted $2 million. The former minister's wife, Sharon, was released on $1 million bail, and then their daughter, $500,000. The 5th accused, councillor of the Brownstown Division in St. Anne, Kim Brown Lawrence, was released on $1 million bail. The court has ordered that their travel documents be seized and stop orders be placed on all 5 at the island's ports. They are all due to return to court on January 23rd next year. The 5 were charged Wednesday night following police raids at their homes earlier in the morning. In a statement, police said that after interviews with detectives, the 5 were charged with a range of offences, including breaches of the Corruption Prevention Act, conspiracy to defraud, misconduct in a public office at common law, and breaches of the Proceeds of Crime Act. Meantime, the youth arm of Jamaica's main opposition People's National Party has called for the immediate resignation of Justice Minister Delroy Chuck over remarks he made regarding the arrests of Reid and the others. Now, Chuck had said the arrest took place like Nicodemus in the night, and police could have simply have asked the individuals to come in as they were not running away and had made themselves available on all occasions. Now, in reaction, the PNP youth organization said the Justice Minister's statements had eroded any confidence that he would not interfere with the investigation or prosecution of the case. Now, noting that Chuck's daughter, an attorney, had been called to Reid's residence on Wednesday when police were there, the organization said it firmly believed that the minister represents a case or a classic case of conflict of interest and should recuse himself from the office to avoid any further impropriety or exercise of undue influence that may be seen as benefiting his daughter or his former colleague. Trinidad and Tobago's National Security Minister Stuart Young has distanced the government from any support for the church rehab center from which 69 people held in captivity were rescued on Wednesday. He outlined the government's position at a press conference following the police raid at Transformed Life Ministry Rehabilitation Center in Aruca in the wee hours of this morning, or that morning rather. The rescued individuals included 65 men and 4 women ranging in ages from 20 to their 60s. Police Commissioner Gary Griffith said they were all held captive, most of them in cages and some in handcuffs, with some of them reported being tortured. At Wednesday's press conference, Minister of Social Development and Family Services, Sherry-Ann Critchlow Cockburn, acknowledged there was a relationship with the church ministry between 2010 and 2015. She said it was housing the homeless, but there were concerns about the conditions under which the clients were being held and the skill set of staff members. Critchlow Cockburn said a decision was subsequently taken to cut ties with the facility. Minister Young said he was disturbed about the circumstances under which people were being held, but he made it clear that government had no part in it.
There have been 65 men and 4 women that we have found held against their will. The will there have been in prison. They've been in cages. Some of them have stated that they've been here for a few years. I have contacted the Minister of National Security, the Minister of Health. This is a much bigger picture, and we'll have to investigate each and every situation. Three people have been held at this time, one being a pastor. He's being questioned. This is on Eastern Main Road in Aruka, and what we have seen is that this relates to virtual slavery, where persons have been in cages. We have reports from some of them that they have been tortured. It is a much bigger picture where there's profit made out of this, and where it involves family members deliberately sending their loved ones here and then trying to extract the profit from the family. I have liaised as well with the FIB, the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service. We have also pulled in the Victim and Witness Support Unit, as well as the Counter-Trafficking Unit.
I do apologize for that wrong clip there. That was Police Commissioner Gary Griffith speaking just outside the rehab center in Trinidad, where 69 members of the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago were found. Health Minister Terence Dialson also reported that 66 of the people taken from the rehab facility were transferred to the St. Anne's Hospital for assessment pending a determination on where they would be housed. Now, 2 were returned to their families and 1 was taken to the Eric Williams Medical Sciences Complex for treatment for a non-psychiatric condition. Meantime, Commissioner Gary Griffith indicated that senior police officers may have been negligent in dealing with the situation at the transformed Life Ministry Rehabilitation Center.
We'll assure the public that there will be full transparency with the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service from captain to cook. I am appalled to have been informed that there have been reports of this institution a few months ago that was actually sent to the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, and senior officers have actually come to me with the audacity a short while ago to say that they were aware of reports of false imprisonment, and when it is I did the initial investigation, they did not do a thorough search, and where they would have seen persons being held in cages, sometimes for years, and then being aware that they were cages and nothing was actually done. So this matter has gone a little bit further, where it can actually expand into possible investigation taking place with police officers.
You're watching Caribbean Newsline. The Antigua and Barbuda government says it's no longer interested in buying Barbados' shares in regional airline Liat. It says it's going a new financial route aimed at providing funds to the cash-strapped carrier. The government is planning to invest millions of dollars directly into the airline, stating that buying the shares from Bridgetown would not benefit Liat in any way because the money would have been going into Barbados' pockets. Now, the talks between the two countries have stalled after Antigua and Barbuda said it was unwilling to pay the estimated $44 million being asked for the government shares. The Prime Minister, Gaston Brown, said he has held talks with his Barbadian counterpart on his government's new direction.
I have indicated to her that the Antiguan and Barbudan government has $40 million that could be made available to recapitalize Liat, and that there should be a capital call, a fresh capital call, in which we will have the existing shareholders and possibly new shareholders recapitalize Liat. That will be followed with a restructuring of Liat to ensure that it becomes a little leaner, and to ensure that it can at least turn an operating profit going forward. So, we obviously will have further discussions, but the idea that we will purchase Barbados' shares, that is no longer on the table. We've taken the decision, instead of buying Barbados' shares, that we will invest directly in Liat, subject to the approval of the other shareholder governments, and I don't see why they should stop us from investing directly in Liat. Liat needs the cash.
Meanwhile, on Thursday, the Antiguan Prime Minister called for the establishment of a tax by developed countries to assist Caribbean countries who have a history of slavery. He made the call even as he maintained that seeking reparation was not a handout. Addressing a one-day symposium exploring the historical roots of Western banks in the financing and profiteering from the enslavement of African and their descendants in the diaspora, Brown said the global equity restoration tax could be imposed on the world's wealthiest to adjust the scourge of global inequality and cover reparatory organizations in the Caribbean. He made reference to the profits made by banks, insurance companies, and other European-based financial institutions during the period of slavery. And he dismissed the notion that the region's call for reparation was wrong, or that it was wrongfully blaming European nations for its underdevelopment and waiting for a handout.
There should be the introduction of a global equity restoration tax on the wealthy, especially that 1%, to address the scourge of global inequality and to assist the poor and vulnerable in wealthy countries, as well as to cover reparatory obligations in the Caribbean. So I am making a call here for a global equity restoration tax. As I said before, the 1% controls nearly half of the $85 trillion global economy. And they should be made to pay this equity in the form of a restoration tax to restore global equity.
And coming up in Caribbean Newsline, parties in Guyana's coalition government in talks to decide on a prime ministerial candidate for the upcoming elections. Stay with us, more news after this.
Help our business owners keep their workplace from becoming a victim itself of sexual harassment and being claims of a hostile work environment. How do we do that?
It's a multifaceted question. Small business owners especially have it more difficult than, for instance, larger corporations. If you're a large corporation, you have a human resources department, you have expensive attorneys at your beck and call, you have employee handbooks.
Talks are ongoing among the parties that make up Guyana's coalition government to decide on the prime ministerial candidate for the upcoming elections. Now, under the Cummingsburg Accord, which was signed ahead of the 2015 election, the presidential candidate would come from the group A Partnership for National Unity, and the prime ministerial candidate would come from the Alliance for Change, the AFC. Prime Minister President David Granger said negotiations are ongoing with the AFC. We get more in this report from HGP Nightly News.
APNU and the AFC had signed the so-called Cummingsburg Accord to contest the 2015 elections on the agreement that the presidential candidate would come from APNU and the prime ministerial candidate from the AFC. The AFC recently voted to replace Moses Nagamutu with Kemraj Ramjatan as their choice for a prime ministerial candidate. APNU and AFC are in negotiations to review the Cummingsburg Accord, and Ramjatan recently expressed confidence that he would be chosen. But President Granger said the discussions have not yet come down to that.
We expect that in the course of the discussions with the lines for change. We will look at personality. Right now, we are dealing with policies and principles. That our main concern has been agreement on the core principles, and now the manifesto will deal with the policies. So we haven't come down to personalities. Have a nice day.
The President revealed that the parties which make up APNU, the People's National Congress, the Working People's Alliance, the Guyana Action Party, the National Front Alliance and the Justice for All Party have concluded their negotiations and have made their proposals.
GAP, which has a strong indigenous support, has made changes. WPA, as you know, is supportive of the cash grant, and the PNC, the NFA, and the Justice for All Party have all made contributions. And these discussions took place over a period of weeks, so only when we achieved a high degree of consensus did we approach the AFC. And happily, the AFC has agreed on the core principles. So that now is finished. We are now discussing the review of their call.
Cash grants have been a contentious issue. The WPA believes that citizens should benefit from oil revenues and has insisted it must be central to the coalition's campaign, but that issue is yet to be resolved.
Barbados' National Council on Substance Abuse, the NCSA, says it is in full support of a medicinal cannabis industry for the island. That's according to Minister of Home Affairs Edmund Hinkson, under whose ministry the NCSA falls. Now, speaking at the association's strategic planning retreat, he said medical marijuana industry is what a large segment of the public has been calling for years, particularly people who are ill or have disabilities, and the authorities can't go against that tide. The minister was part of a 15-member Joint Select Committee that listened to recommendations from stakeholders and the public on the Medicinal Cannabis Bill 2019. He said the NCSA had made its contribution. While confirming the NCSA's support for a medical marijuana industry, Chairman Harford Howell stressed there was a clear difference between that and the use of recreational marijuana. And he said the agency would still be on a mission against substance abuse or misuse. Howell said the NCSA had submitted a paper to Minister Hinkson a year ago expressing its views and concerns. Two Caribbean islands point to financial technology as the future of their economies. Mary Claire Williams has the details in this week's Newsline Business.
Bermuda is gearing up to host its inaugural Tech Week next week. Premier David Burt says the government will be paying special attention to the development of financial technology, which he says is the future of the island's economy. Announcing the launch of Tech Week earlier this week, Burt noted that there is significant potential for the further development of the insurance sector through fintech.
And what is interesting is that a lot of companies are actually attracted to Bermuda because of insurance, because they are looking, these are innovative technology companies which may have things like self-driving cars and others that they're figuring out how to insure. They come to Bermuda for insurance, and then they realize that our ecosystem is that much bigger than just insurance, that we offer an ideal jurisdiction to domicile. So that's the growth and development of which we've seen, and we felt that it would make sense to build on that by hosting a technology conference to continue to invite thought leaders here to Bermuda, because technology is the future.
St. Kitts and Nevis Prime Minister Dr. Timothy Harris is also focusing on growing the digital economy in the Twin Island Federation. Harris was addressing a national consultation on the economy on Tuesday when he said that businesses and individuals must all be part of the growth of the digital economy in the public and private sectors.
We do not pursue a digital economy and technological innovation because we are driven by a particular ideology or because it is now fashionable. We do so because we see the real potential and job growth that can come from it, especially for our young people. The new technology can help us play a leading role in the region and beyond. New employment opportunities will open up in commerce, in real estate, in banking, and other areas of the financial sector, cybersecurity, and someone mentioned that earlier, merchandising. the world which we now know will change so dramatically before our very eyes.
Mary-Claire Williams, Newsline Business.
And ahead in Newsline Sport, Barbados Tridents and Trinidad and Tobago Knight Riders face off in the penultimate match of the Caribbean Premier League. Stay with us. Sport is next.
After an emergency, you can help yourself and others by looking, listening, and linking.
Looking because you want to see if the person has some signs that is in distressing. Looking for the symptoms, how best you can support the person. And then listening, because listening is very important. Listening with your ears, listening with your eyes. If you do that well, then you'll be able to link them to the appropriate resources.
Be ready, look, listen, and link.
Winterland, tell me all your secrets.
Hi, I'm Taj Burrow. I want to welcome you down to the beach here at Bondi for the Surf Aid Cup. Bunch of teams lined up, ready to get their swerve on. Waves are small, but still should be fun. Everyone's in good spirits, so it should be a sick day.
Being a pro surfer, I go up to the Mentawai Islands quite a lot. Surf Aid do such amazing work up there, so to be able to give back is something really special.
New Zealander Colin Monroe believes Thursday's CPL semi-final could get scary for Barbados Tridents if home side Trinbago Knight Riders find their best form in the crucial encounter. TKR host Tridents at the Brian Lara Cricket Academy at 7 p.m. in the penultimate CPL match, with the winner set to face Guyana Amazon Warriors in Saturday's final at the same venue. Now, Monroe said, quote, "I don't think we have played anywhere near our best cricket. So if we come out and play our best cricket, we know that we could put any team away," end quote. Now, TKR won their first 4 matches before going winless in their next 6, including losing their last 5 in the preliminaries to end 4th on 9 points. But if you think the Tridents, who have beaten TKR twice, will be the TKR's greatest concern, think again. Rain, yes, rain can fall on the defending champs parade. There were heavy showers in Tarouba on Wednesday, and more rain in the forecast for Thursday's game has raised speculation over a possible washout. Now, in that scenario, Tridents would qualify for the final, having finished second in the standings. TKR manager Colin Board said weather conditions were beyond their control and they would be purely focused on executing once play was possible. In women's cricket, NLCB Revelers displayed an all-round performance to beat Gladiators by 8 wickets in the first of 2 of the inaugural T10 tournament on Thursday. Sent in at the Brian Lara Cricket Academy in Tarouba, the Gladiators were restricted to 74 for 2 in their allotted 10 overs. Hayley Matthews top scored with an unbeaten 46 from 33 deliveries, while Kaisia Knight chipped in with 24 from 20. In reply, an unbeaten knock of 22 from Brittany Cooper and captain Stephanie Taylor's top score of 36 guided the Revelers to victory with 4 balls to spare. Now, after the match, Revelers captain Stephanie Taylor spoke about her experience playing T10 cricket.
It's the first time for me, but yeah, definitely a faster paced game, more exciting because, you know, every ball counts and, you know, every run counts. So yeah, I think for me, if I had to choose between T20, I would choose T10.
And Gladiators captain Afi Fletcher shared similar sentiments.
I think it's a quick thinking game, as Stephanie said, and it's a good challenge. And you know, you got to brain active plus yourself, you know. So I think it's a good game.
Over to football now. Now that Trinidad and Tobago's quest for an Olympic berth is over, the question is, what's next for the senior women's team? The head coach says he will be scouting for new talent and hopes to create opportunities to keep the girls active, as we hear in this report from TV6's Sergio Defoe.
He promised to bring back the excitement to the women's game, but he definitely has his work cut out for now. St. Kitts and Nevis, not Trinidad and Tobago, will be advancing to the next round of the CONCACAF Olympic qualifying tournament. Head coach Stephen Defoe said the journey continues.
From here, I go back and start doing more combines to keep looking for more players to build the program as much as possible in all the different age groups, but for the senior team also. There are a lot of players, as I said, who were out there that could make this one, that surely when the next team start playing, you'll see a whole new different team.
Defoe identified a big problem in the TNT women's program, that being, Defoe says, apart from the 3-month Wolf League, not enough women's football is being played.
In just playing 2-3 months of soccer, and then, you know, we're done. Basically, that's not, and then they had the high school, and after high school is done in the next month or so, that's it. Women's soccer locally is non-existent. I want that to change. We have to keep playing year-round in some way. So I am going to try and meet with the stakeholders and the people in the Wolf League and try and put together something in place where we can keep the ladies playing, and that's how our development will get better.
The coach hopes to hold a camp after the collegiate season in December and wants to utilize the FIFA windows to play as many matches going forward.
And that's the sport. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Yeah, I stay discreet, keep it low key.
Welcome to Gender Bias. Sad to say, the program where we discuss relationship issues affecting both male and female. But Miss Sissy, you sure you're looking like if you go to for carnival.
I conducted myself in a manner that my mother would be proud of.
What sort of a mother do you have?
And understand.
Yes, people.
As a small business owner, you have to make sure your technology is available and operational at all times. But what happens when your network crashes, your email goes down, or your user systems get a virus? You may try to fix the issue yourself, but you can end up making the problem a lot worse. At Digital Networking Solutions, we're more than just people who try to fix your computers. We monitor, maintain, and support your IT systems so that you can focus on growing your business to its fullest potential. When you sign up for one of our IT support plans, we get familiar with your IT environment beforehand, so we can manage it proactively as if it were our own. Your business deserves the best IT services available to ensure it functions to its maximum efficiency. So give us a try today. Email or call us, and we'll give you a free network assessment to determine whether now is the time for your small business to adopt Digital Networking Solutions for a smoother, more reliable network experience.
Again, the major developments of this day: former Education Minister Ruel Reid, his wife, his daughter, and president of the Caribbean Maritime University among 5 people up to appear in court on corruption-related charges. And in sport, Barbados Tridents and Trinbago Knight Riders face off in the penultimate match of the Caribbean Premier League. That's Caribbean Newsline for news and sports round the clock. Subscribe to CaribVision.com for more of our programming. Log on to CaribVision.tv and check out our YouTube channel. We'll be back here again tomorrow. But from all of us at CMC News, thank you for watching. Have yourselves a good night.